All right, let's talk about something that feels like it's just part of modern life now, doesn't it? That feeling of being completely and totally fried. We're talking about burnout. And today, we're going to walk through a blueprint, not just to understand it, but to actually find our way back.
So let's start with this. Does this sound familiar? You get a full 8 hours, maybe even more, but you wake up feeling like you haven't slept at all. It's that bone-deep exhaustion that a cup of coffee just can't seem to touch.
Or how about this? The hobbies and passions that used to be your escape, the things that lit you up, now they just feel like another chore on a never-ending to-do list. The thought of doing them just makes you feel tired.
Okay, if you're nodding along to any of this, please hear me on this. This feeling is not you being lazy. It is not a character flaw. It has a name, and that name is burnout.
So what exactly is it? Well, burnout isn't just one bad day or a tough week. It's what happens when you've been in overdrive for way too long, without ever taking your foot off the gas. It's the cumulative effect of pushing and pushing without ever stopping to recover.
So before we can even think about fixing it, we have to get really good at spotting the signs. In this first part, we're going to look at the warning lights our body is trying to flash at us, telling us something's wrong.
And you know, the signs are pretty classic. There's that constant exhaustion we just talked about. Then there's the brain fog, where it feels like you're trying to think through molasses. You might find yourself getting irritated at the smallest things. And of course, that feeling of having absolutely zero motivation to do much of anything.
Man, just take a second and let this one sink in. If you keep saying, "I'll rest later," your body will decide for you. We have this habit of treating rest like some kind of luxury we'll get to eventually. But our bodies, they're keeping score. And if you ignore the polite little nudges to take a break, it will eventually just pull the emergency brake for you.
So how do you get off this treadmill? Your first instinct might be to work harder, to get more organized, to just power through it. But the real first step, and this is key, is going to feel completely backward. This slide just lays it out perfectly. Look at the left side. That's the trap we all fall into. We think we need more productivity, to push harder, to fix it fast. But the actual way out, it's the total opposite. It's about intentionally doing less. It's about lowering your own ridiculously high standards for a while. And it's about slowing way down. I want you to burn this into your brain. Bare minimum is still progress. When your tank is on empty, just doing the absolute essentials isn't failure, it's strategy. It's about saving every drop of energy you have for what really matters, which is getting better.
Okay, so we're on board with slowing down. But what does that actually look like in real life? This next section is all about the practical tools for getting your energy back, and it starts with making a really important distinction.
We are constantly confusing distraction with rest. We collapse on the couch and scroll through our phones and call it relaxing. But our brain is still working, still consuming, still processing. It's a distraction, for sure, but it's often draining. Actual rest is restorative. It recharges you. It leaves you with more energy, not less.
And the good news is, real rest doesn't have to be some fancy, expensive vacation. It can be as simple as finally prioritizing your sleep, or just sitting in a chair and staring out the window for 5 minutes, taking a walk and leaving the headphones at home. The key here is that last point, doing nothing on purpose. Ooh, this is a big one. So many of us believe deep down that rest is a reward we get only after we've been productive enough, after we've checked off everything on the list. But that's not how it works. Rest isn't a prize, it's a requirement. It's like air or water. The other side of reclaiming your energy is setting boundaries. And I know that word can feel really big and overwhelming. So forget overhauling your entire life. Just look at this list and pick one. Seriously, just one. Make one tiny, non-negotiable rule for yourself.
And you might think, what's one little rule gonna do? Well, these small boundaries are what prevent the big breakdowns. Every time you enforce that one little rule, you're building a tiny wall that protects your well-being. And over time, those tiny walls become a fortress.
All right, we've talked about the physical signs, we've talked about practical strategies, but this final piece of the puzzle is all internal. See, burnout happens when we stop listening to ourselves. It's time to tune back into that frequency. This might be the most important question in this whole discussion. Not what does your boss want, not what does your family need, not what do you think you should be doing, just right now, in this moment, what do I need? Ask the question, and then be quiet enough to actually hear the answer. As we wrap up, I want to leave you with a couple of final thoughts. And the first one is the most important. Say it with me. You're not weak. You're not weak. You're overwhelmed. You've been carrying too much for too long without enough support or rest. The issue isn't with you, it's with the load you've been asked to carry.
So if burnout isn't a weakness, what is it? Think of it this way. It's a signal.
It is not a failure. It's the check engine light on your dashboard. It's your body and mind telling you, hey, the way we're doing things isn't working anymore. We need to pull over and change something.
So if you only take one thing away from this, let it be this idea right here. Our culture teaches us that rest is the opposite of success. It's what we do when we're done with the important stuff. But what if that's completely wrong? What if rest isn't the enemy of achievement, but an essential ingredient for it? What if true, sustainable success is actually impossible without it?